Hey guys, and welcome to episode 19 of Creators Campfire. Tonight I am joined by Francesca Henry, aka the Money Fox. So pretty excited. We are, however, not going to really talk about finance stuff. We're going to talk about her new venture. But hi, Francesca.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. So for those who have been living under a rock and don't really know who you are, do you want to just give a little bit of a background about yourself and about the Money Fox, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are lots of people who don't know who I am, by the way. So I run the Money Fox, which is a platform to help women get the best out of their money and live their dream life, basically. So budgeting, earning extra money, paying off debt, all that sort of thing. That's what I like to talk about. And yeah, I'm a mum of one to a little girl she's nearly 9. She's 9 in a couple of weeks, which is crazy.
Wow. Growing up.
But she's back to school now after 6 months off. So yes. I'm pretty happy and I'm getting quite a lot done. So that's good.
Good. That must have been a fun 6 months.
I know. Yeah, it was.
Awesome. So, like I said, you obviously have this huge finance background, and people predominantly, I guess, know you for that and kind of your journey and your debt journey and the knowledge that and the experiences that you've gained over that, you have then turned into this amazing account where you pass this knowledge and inspiration on to other people who are going through the same thing. But along the way, you've also, I'm going to call them side hustles, although I've kind of been told off for that recently. But along the way, you've had various other ventures in like the business world. And your latest one, which is very cool, by the way, is Soy Wax candles. Is that correct? Is that how?
Soy Wax Melts.
Soy Wax Melts. Thank you. So this is a super cool idea. But I kind of wanted to pick your brain and wanted to talk through the journey because it fascinates me. I have this idea and then taking it into production. So yeah. I know a lot of us, well, me especially, have all these ideas about these great things and obviously never do anything about it. But you've done it. You've got that idea. You've taken it through. So do you want to first just give a much better background than mine was into what it is, and then we can talk through the journey?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, really. Like you said, well, Soy Wax Melts. So wax melts, I always think a lot of people know what they are, but they don't. I actually have some here because I'm prepared.
Oh, well,
if you can see, obviously you can't see if you're just listening to the audio. But they're like candles, but without the wick. But they're highly scented, so they're generating a higher scent than a candle, which is why people like them, because they make your house smell really nice, basically. They are very popular. There are a lot of people making them as well. But I just wanted to give it a go.
Nice. So what inspired you to do it? So is it that you'd seen them and you liked them and you thought it was a good idea, or you kind of, how did you get that idea to go about doing this?
So I've always wanted to do something really creative. Now, I do think what I do with the Money Fox is creative, but it's creative in a different sense. Like, I am definitely a writer. So that's the creative side of that. But I wanted something that would take me away from the computer, because I just think it's really not good to be sat at a computer all day. So I want something a bit more hands-on, and yeah, I'm not really sure why I picked it, to be honest. I think it looked fun. I thought, with me, I do look at things and I think I could do that. I could do that better. So yeah, I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. I hadn't tried it before. I wasn't really sure what other creative things I could do. I have thought about doing other things, but yeah, I just wanted something. I like pretty things, and I do like nice smelling things as well, so it just seemed to make sense.
Yes. So you kind of went into it more of, I want to do something creative, and therefore what can I do, rather than, oh, I have this great idea, how do I go about following it through?
Yeah, pretty much. Just want something to take me away from the computer, something fun. So I could have picked lots of different things. This is just the one thing that I picked.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So you've got this thing that you've decided on, that obviously you already like, so you know, and it fits exactly what you want to do. Where do you go from there? So again, like I said, a lot of people have ideas, but what's the next step to that?
Definitely a plan. So I'm a massive planner anyway, but you need to have a plan. And so with wax melts, obviously we're talking about wax melts, I needed to know how to make them, obviously. So I did a lot of research into how you make them, and I did all the different things that goes into it, because it's actually quite difficult to do. But I had a proper structured plan. So like you say, everyone has ideas, but then it's taking the action. So what I like to do is kind of work backwards and think about what steps will need to get me to that goal. So what do I actually need to do to launch like a business? And then you would write down everything, like a massive master list. And then literally every day pick stuff from the list. And then once you've done all the stuff, you're at the end and you're ready to launch. So it sounds really simple, but it really is that simple.
Okay. Was it made more simple by the fact that you've done similar things before, though? Or was it a completely different experience?
It's completely different, but I would say starting new things is definitely a habit. So if I had this idea like 5 years ago or something, it wouldn't have gone down the same way at all, because a lot of the time the thing that stops us, well, there's obviously our thoughts, which we can talk a lot about, but there is time and money involved. So I know that it works, and I know that it looks massive. And to be fair, when I look at people's like to-do lists, when people share their to-do lists and stuff, I'm like, that's too much. That's like stressful. I hate that. When I never like it when I see everyone's massively long to-do list, because when I say I'll pick things each day, I'm not picking things that's like a list like 50 items to do that day. I'm picking 1, 2, 3 things to do that day that I know. Well, also to point out that they have to move the needle. So we can get caught up in trying to do things like, say, for example, you wanted to create some nice graphics and that's on your list. That could take you like weeks if you really wanted it to, faffing around and everything. So I make sure on that list, I have things that's going to actually take me a step closer to the actual goal. That really helps.
I think, you're right. I think that's key, because I am definitely prone to just doing, I suppose, the easier things on my list, because it makes me feel like I'm getting things ticked off. But at the end of the day, it's like, probably should have done the other thing that would have got me somewhere. So,
you can do the easy things, but you have to be doing something that's going to get you closer to it. So going off on a tangent now, I had a coaching call recently, because I was doing coaching now. And we'd made a plan for like her doing this business stuff. And I'd spoken about what I just spoke about. And then I said, okay, so what are you going to do today? And she reeled off some things. And then I said, hang on a sec. Not one of those things is one of the things that we discussed that you need to do. And she was like, oh, okay. So I was like, put this at the top of the list and do it like literally straight away. So it's really easy to get caught up in all the other things, but you need to make sure that you're moving one step closer towards your goal every day. As well. It can be tiny. It doesn't have to be some huge, crazy thing. It's just got to be moving you along.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's that's definitely some good advice that I need to take. So in terms of creating your plan and your master to-do list, how much of that involves research at that stage, and how much of that is more of a brain dump of you going, this is more or less what I think needs to be done?
A bit of both. I think you can add to it as you go along. So for me, for example, if I was starting a new business now, I would probably put on there research how to make it, or whatever it is. But give yourself like a set amount of time probably, or just have an end goal in mind with that as well, because we can get stuck in the research phase for a long time. But you obviously do need to do research. So you do need to know how to do the thing, but it's just, don't get caught up in figuring out how to do it. But I would say you can add to your list as you go and figure it out as you go.
In terms of, I guess, timelines, when you start to make that list, do you have any specific dates in mind? So when you're making that list, you say, okay, well, this is something I need to launch in 6 months, or is that something that you decide as you do the research and a bit more of the planning?
I don't have dates. However, I would not recommend that. But the reason I don't is because I don't work very well that way. And this is just me kind of knowing how I work personally. So if I give myself a deadline, it will stress me out. I won't reach it or any of that. But I know myself that I will get there, and I'll get there as quick as I possibly can. And I will be pushing myself, and I will be doing everything each day. But if you're not someone that does that, I would definitely say give yourself deadlines and stuff. But if you know that you'll be okay, then I don't think you really need to be honest.
Okay.
It's all about what's best for you.
Yeah. So I guess nobody knows you better than you. So do what you know works.
Yeah. And some things take longer than you expect. So you might be like, oh, I'm going to set up a website, and I've done it before, so it'll take me like maybe an hour. And then actually it's maybe a bit more difficult, and you're there for 2 hours, and then that kind of pushes you back a bit. So I don't really like to put strict deadlines on myself like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having like a bit of a deadline, like by the end of the year or something. Like for example, my budget planners I know I need to have them done like pretty much now, ready, because people will be buying them for next year. So that's something to bear in mind as well. And also other things that are seasonal. So there are seasonal wax melts that you could do, Christmas scents and stuff like that, but you need them ready for a certain time. So yeah, it depends if it's seasonal or not as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, because then you've got an automatic deadline, because there's no point in you doing it 2 months later. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in terms, I guess, of the phases that you kind of go through or went through, I guess research was quite early on, I imagine. Yeah. And then where do you go from there?
I guess it's different for everything that you do. So with the wax melts, I had to research how to actually make them, and everything that went into it, which was actually more than I realized, being totally honest. And then the next stage was testing. So it's not as simple as you just don't make them. Like it's not as simple as that. You have to do a lot of testing, and I wanted to make sure that it was as good as it could get. But my boyfriend did have to say to me, look, you really need to start launching them soon, because I was testing them so much. So there was a bit of that as well. But I was like, for me, I like things to be perfect, but sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah.
They were perfect. I was just trying to make them too perfect.
Yeah. That's fair enough. So I guess, so you're making them yourself.
Yeah.
I guess my first thoughts were like, oh, you'd have to outsource, but actually you don't, because these are things that you can do yourself. So where, in terms of the testing, are there like certain rules and regulations? Is that kind of the testing you mean? There are certain criteria that you have to tick off in order to sell them, or are they just more kind of like the scents or things?
No, so that there are like legal things that you have to do. Like you have to put safety labels on the back and stuff. And that is actually something that took me ages to figure out. I found really confusing, but it's fine now. But no, I mean the testing. So I mean, what shapes to do, what colors, glitter, stuff like that. Like the fragrances, and also basically with wax melts, you have to test. So you do the wax, you melt the wax, and you add the fragrance oil, but you have to add it at the right temperature, because they bind together. If you add it at the wrong temperature, it won't work properly. So, and all wax is different. So there's a lot of testing that has to go on there, basically. Yeah, it's actually quite difficult.
Did it just turn into a bit of a lab?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was great fun. It smelled really nice. Well, it smells really nice now as well.
Yeah. Were you like into science at school?
Not really. No, I hated chemistry. I absolutely hated it. No.
Okay. See, because I get like, I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, the thought of that, it's like, for me, it's like, oh, I don't think I could ever do it. That would be something that would put me off. But I like, super hats off to you for being able to do something like that, because I think that's
fun.
amazing.
I think you'd like it. You would. I think it's satisfying seeing the end result, but I did find it really frustrating, because like I said, it was harder than I'd expected. Even like getting the colors right, because basically when it's hot and liquid, it's a completely different color to when it's solid. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it was
I
hard.
guess there's a lot of trial and error then. It's not like a little do it
There
yourself
was even
kit.
like the glitter. I thought I would know what glitter would look good with which color. I was wrong. I was totally wrong. In fact, I think my partner and my daughter picked all of the glitter, and they were right. And I was like, damn it! But they look really good.
Yeah.
I was totally wrong with the glitter, and so I had to test that. Even something that sounds like something really simple and small, but I wanted it to look good, and what I thought would look good was not right.
Yeah. Oh wow. Do you? Oh, there's a weird echo. Okay. That was strange. Do you? So obviously you said you took it to the absolute best that you could do, and you probably still could have continued tweaking. But at any point, did you think I need to do a test run to people, or did you do that, or did you just go live with the product when you knew it was ready?
No, I did get people to test them. Yeah, that's really
Okay.
important. Yeah, because it's different in like different people's homes. Basically, if you have a small room, obviously it's going to smell a lot stronger than in a bigger room, and all the rest of it. So yeah, I did get people to test them and let me know what they thought, because everyone likes different things as well. So definitely important to test.
How do you deal with that though, I guess, when you're getting feedback from people and you need to, I guess there's a lot of opinion in that, and there's obviously actual real feedback. How do you go about differentiating that and knowing what's what?
I guess I'm quite headstrong, so I would take it on board. But if I really wanted to do it, then I would do it anyway. But I do think, like you said, it's opinion. So with things like the wax melts, if someone doesn't like a certain smell, they just don't like it. That's I'm not going to force someone to like a smell that they don't like. And there's loads of smells that I don't like, but I haven't done any ones that I don't like. But if someone said to me, "Oh, use this," and it was something I didn't like, then I'd just be like, "Well, no, I don't like it." So. I think, yeah, just take people's opinions on board, but just, what's good, I think.
Yeah. So what kind of timelines are we talking from when you started, I guess, the research phase up to when you had a product ready for testing?
Oh, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I definitely tested longer than I did research. Probably not that long. No, probably not that long, really. I think I was really determined. Sorry, I haven't got like a definite answer to that. I'm not sure. But I don't think it was that long. Maybe like a month max.
Okay, so yeah, okay, that's not that long at all.
No.
How much information? I mean, I know there's a world of information, and Google is your best friend. But how much information is really out there that is ready to use versus how much you have to kind of go digging for things?
I think it depends what it is. So with wax melts, I had to do a lot of testing myself, I think, because, like I said, all wax is different. And also, I don't think anyone wants to really tell you, because they've tested. If you've been testing for like months and months and months and perfected it, would you really want to tell everyone? Probably not. People are very helpful. Like, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. They were really good. When I say a lot, I mean I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Like, I typed in like soy wax melts, and I went through like all of them. And that, yeah, they were really, really helpful. But I think it depends on what subject it is. But there is a lot out there. But at the end of the day, I think you do need to do your own stuff yourself as well.
Yeah. So obviously, yeah, you've now got the product. Is packaging and that kind of stuff quite easy once you've got to this point?
Well, packaging was a nightmare, because what I really struggled with was the most out of everything was the boxes to pack them in and the labels. Really struggled with those. But do you mean the actual just like packaging it up?
Well, yeah. I guess you've got like this raw product, right? And it's you've got to put it in something nice, and then you've also got to get it to the customer.
Yeah, no, that was fine. Once I decided on my boxes and everything, I haven't been really fancy. So like with my budget planners and stuff, when I made sure that I made that as pretty as possible. Like, I have like the nicest tissue paper and stuff. But these, I was just like, I've just got to get them out. However, they're in cello bags, but I wanted it to be eco-friendly, so they're compostable. So I had to like do a lot of research into that. basically you put them in there, you do it up, you put the labels on, put it in a box, and then it's off. So it's pretty easy to get. It's easier than the planners because the planners are enormous. So like a wax melt box is like that big. It's not that big, whereas the planner's like
giant. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. I always think that when it comes to things like packaging, again, I default to factories or you have to go and get it sent off. How easy is it? Is it just a case of, oh, I need to buy a bunch of boxes? Let me go to Amazon. Or do you have to be quite specific and put like orders in for certain things? That's a really stupid question, I know.
It's not a stupid question. But that's what I found hard with the wax melts. So, for example, going back to the budget planners, I'm sorry, I'm not just banging on about the budget planners, but they're A4 size. So I know I needed an A4 box for them. So I get those ones from a company called Tiny Box Co, I think, something like that. Right. They were the cheapest ones I found. But these ones, I think they're from somewhere called like Raja. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But that's what I found difficult because I wasn't sure of the dimensions, because the thicker it is, the more it's going to cost in postage. So I wanted it to be quite thin, but then not too thin because I didn't want it to squash the wax melts, but it needed to be in a box because I didn't want it to be squashed and all the rest of it. So that was what I found that difficult. But then once you have it all, then obviously you're good to go. I've got loads of boxes over there. I can see them at the corner of my eye. And they're there and they're ready and they're good to go. So yeah, I found that difficult with the wax melts, but not with, when you know what the size is, it's fine because you can just order the size. But when you're figuring it out, I ended up with loads of random boxes. It's really annoying.
Just boxes everywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. You should see the packing peanuts I've got. I wish I could show you them. I ordered some packing peanuts.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It came in this massive, it's taller than me, basically.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Didn't know they would be that big. When it arrived, everyone was like, what is that? And I was like, I don't know. And yeah, it was just like millions of packing peanuts. They're really cheap, but they're really good because they're dissolvable. So you just put them in water and they just dissolve.
Oh, nice.
So that was something else actually to mention, because like I said, I want it to be as eco-friendly as possible. That's why I've got the soy wax, I've got the compostable bags, I've got the disintegrating packing peanuts. Yeah. And my boxes are recycled and everything. So that was something that I wanted to do as well.
Yeah, ticked all the boxes. Love that. So you've now got product. You're now ready to ship it. It's probably a bit backwards because you've probably already started this. But in terms of the marketing side of things and getting, I guess, a separate website set up, where in the process does that come in? And at what point do you start thinking about that?
Once I had them all ready to go, that's when I was ready to set everything up pretty much. But I did buy my domain name right at the start. So I already had that, and the socials and stuff like that. So because I've learned from my mistakes with that. So yeah, definitely if you have a name in mind, get the name done. But yeah, I mean, I found it really difficult because with the Money Fox, I have WooComerce plugin for my shop, which is free. But for this, I wanted to do Shopify. I've never done Shopify before. I thought it'd be really easy. I did not find it easy. I think it's because it was brand new to me. Now I've been using it, I'm okay, but because it was just brand new, I actually really struggled setting that up. And I've done an Etsy store for it as well, which Etsy's great. But yeah, I think I got it ready after I'd got it all ready, and then I started to do it. Yeah.
That's surprising. I did think I've never used either, but I did think the whole point of Shopify was that it was supposed to be super easy and super simple, and it was like,
it might be for other people. Yeah, it wasn't for me. I'm so used to WordPress and WooCommerce and everything that I find that's super easy. But Shopify, I did not find easy at all. No, but that's just
why. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. I kind of trust you. So why?
To be fair, I had to go onto their live chat and they couldn't figure out why it was giving me an error either.
Okay.
It was giving me, I was like, why is this not working? And they were like, I don't know. And then eventually it didn't work, but it wasn't just me. So it was like throwing up all kind of curveballs to me.
Okay, yeah. So it's clearly just gone wrong for you.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Why did you?
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
I got to say, because you said, when are you getting the site ready?
Yeah.
I had seen other people say, just like message me to order. So I did that.
Yes.
So I just said, DM me to order, and I sent them a PayPal invoice before I set my shop up.
Okay.
So you can do that.
That makes a lot of sense. Actually, that made me think, in terms of like the demand side of things, did you think, or did you, I guess you kind of did by saying that, but was there a point at which you were like, I need to make sure there's a market for this, or were you fairly comfortable that there would have been, in terms of, you know, you've obviously put the investment in getting a product to this stage, and a lot of people would then like test it or do something like a test run. Did you do any of that, or were you pretty confident that there was a market and that you were good to go live?
The market is massive for wax melts, but then it's massively saturated as well. So I always say, with anything I do, if I get one sale, I will be happy. Always do that. And apparently, if you sell, I think there's a thing where if you make 3 sales, then you're pretty much good to go. So yeah, I was just like, please give me one sale, and that was it. So that's what I wanted, really.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm easy to please.
Yeah. I love that. But I suppose that just proves that there is there are. I guess you already knew that there was a market, but once you started getting them, you knew that there was something there, right?
Yeah, but I think when you're first starting, you haven't got a lot of trust or anything like that. So how often are you going to buy off some random person that's just popped up? Probably not very often. So yeah, I think there's an element of that as well. And I'm like, DM me to order, like, and I'm just a random person. So I totally get why there wouldn't be and why would there be an influx of people anyway, unless I was the first person ever to do wax melts. I think I've done all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever think, or did you do any paid adverts?
I haven't. I've never done any, but that's because I don't know how to do it.
Okay.
I'm not going to put my money into something I don't know how to do. So in the future, yes. I'm very wary of it with the Money Fox. I don't really want to do it on there, but the Wax Melt Fox, I'm happy to put a lot of money into ads, but just not yet. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, more research.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. I was going to ask, and I don't know how much of a big deal it is, but why did you want to go to Shopify versus WooComerce this time?
Because of market research. So I'd seen that a lot of people that do the same, like wax melts, have a Shopify store. Even if I'm quite good, how to say it? Even if it didn't say Shopify, I could tell they were using Shopify. And so yeah, I wanted, because like the Money Fox is mainly a blog with a shop attached to it for my products, whereas the wax melts are just a shop. So I just wanted like a shop, a storefront, which is what WooComerce is, Shopify is really good for.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the reason.
That makes a lot of sense.
When I was doing it, I was like, should I have just done WordPress and WooComerce, for God's sake? So yeah.
But it's paid off. You've got it working. And you do all the web design and all of that stuff yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Do you enjoy that process?
Not with building Shopify, no.
Okay.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah.
If I know what I'm doing, I'm fine. If I don't, then I start to get really upset and think I'm useless at everything and I shouldn't do anything ever again. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I was trying to learn something new today and I was just like, I'm so sad. I said to my boyfriend, I was like, I'm so sad, I can't do anything. He was like, shut up.
That sounds like me, I'm not gonna lie. It's incredibly
I think
frustrating.
we're all like that. We're all like that. I literally hate it though when I can't do something. Oh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Looking back, other than maybe Shopify, is there something you wish you'd done differently?
Not gone so crazy in the beginning, because there's so many nice fragrances out there. I was like, I'm going to try like every fragrance. Obviously not everyone, because that'd be impossible. But I thought I would get a lot. And yeah, I wish I hadn't, because it was a bit of a waste of money. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a lesson learned.
Yeah, I can still use them. But I got a lot of testers, because I'm not a complete idiot.
Yeah.
I got a lot of small bits, but I just wish I'd... The thing is, you don't really know what they're going to be like. So
Yeah,
I guess it's not that big a deal, really. That's the only thing I can think of. And getting a better thermometer. But again, you don't know until you test. Yeah, probably it.
okay. It seems like it's been and maybe it's just a testament to the type of person you are, but it seems like it's been quite a nice, straightforward process for the most part.
Yes and no. So I've had the struggles. So the boxes really annoyed me. The labels were difficult, because I wrote my boyfriend in, and we've made the labels ourselves. Most people do not.
Oh.
There is a reason for that, because it's very difficult. But yeah, and then obviously there's a lot of testing and stuff. I think for me, the first wax melt I ever did was so good that it gave me so much confidence. And if it had been terrible, I wouldn't have been as confident. But as I've gone along, I've done terrible ones. But just, I think because the first one was so good, I was like, yes, we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives you that boost, and you can do it.
I was so impressed with it.
Yeah.
It was so good. Also, I ordered the wrong wax. The first wax I ordered was wrong. But that was fine, because I just used it for testing. So.
Okay. Why did you decide to make the labels?
For cost,
Okay.
basically, to keep the cost down, and also they're really in high demand. So whenever I'd go onto a website, they'd be sold out, and they'd be shut down, and like, we're not ordering, we're not going to be open for like a month, literally. And I was like, what if I'm sat there and I've got to wait for like a month? Like, what do? You can't just not sell the stuff. But mainly cost, because of the CLP, the safety labels. That's the thing that gets sold out more often than not. But in the end, it was easy. I designed the labels and everything. So yeah, so fine.
Cool. What's the biggest learning you've had on this journey?
I don't know, a lot of things. I think in terms of actual what I've learned how to make wax melts, which is really good. I've learned how to do Shopify and labels. But I think just knowing that anyone can do a creative business, because I've never made anything like wax melts before. I've never done a candle. Lots of people have made candles and stuff. I've never done anything like that. So I think you can really put whatever you set your mind to, really, with a lot of practice. I always say that to my daughter. I'm like, all you've got to do is practice, and then you'll be good. It's as simple as that, really.
There's a lot of mindset things that go on behind that, though, right? Because again, I'm thinking about myself, but I can imagine myself along that journey wanting to give up, or just feeling a bit like, oh, why have I done this, or why isn't it working? How do you? And I know you said you kind of already set your mind to it, so you would have got through it anyways. But how do you deal with some of those negative thoughts?
I was actually a lot better, I think, with the wax melts than I am with the Money Fox stuff.
Okay.
I think because it was so fun, and because it was so new, I probably gave myself a lot of grace. No one's going to be perfect when they're first starting something new, and I know that. Yeah. So I think, and I just found it fun. But with other stuff, like I said, I did say Shopify, I was like, I'm useless. I can't do this. But what I was going to do was, I thought, do you know what? If I can't do it, I'm going to find someone to do it for me, and I'll just pay them to set it up. And I even went in a Facebook group and I said, how much would it be for you to do this for me? And then I ended up doing it myself anyway. And it was really funny because my boyfriend I was in my office and I was doing it all this new stuff, and I was trying to figure out on Shopify, and he just started laughing, and I was like, what are you laughing at? And he was like, but it was like a nice laugh, like, and he was like, he said, when you just want to do something, you just do it, don't you? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he really admired that. But that's from just practice, really. Like I said, practice your mindset as well. You just have to tell yourself, okay, I know this is hard, but we've got an end goal, or, you know, you're not rubbish. It's going to be fine. And also I didn't tell anyone I was doing this either. I actually wasn't going to tell anyone at all that I knew, like on my other Instagram or anything like that, because I wanted it to just be like a secret. I was going to make it a secret experiment.
Right.
But then my boyfriend was like, you will be an idiot if you don't tell everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, that's fine, I will. But yeah, just getting used to the things that your mind tells you and just doing them anyway, because we all have the same thoughts. You just have to push through, because we honestly all think the same thing. The most successful people in the world think the same thing. They just do it anyway.
Yeah, I really like that. I just wish my head would listen to that sometimes.
Oh, we all have that happen.
Yeah,
we're all like that. There's loads of things I perhaps wanted to do and not done, but they're the things you regret.
that's very true.
They really are.
Yeah, nobody wants to live with regret.
No, it's not fun.
No, not at all. How did you, in terms of, so like you said, you did like a little bit every day, no matter how small, towards this goal. Were there times when you like literally did, like in time, I'm trying to get at times and planning and having enough time, because a lot of times people say, I don't have enough time. So you're already running this other account, you've got a daughter to look after. A lot of people would say, I don't really have time to do this extra venture. How much of your time did it take? Did it feel a drain? Did you have to do any different kind of time planning or anything like that? What were your thoughts around that?
I think because I found it so fun, it didn't feel like a time drain or anything. I think when you are starting something new, you have to enjoy it, because otherwise it's going to feel like a massive slog. And then that's when it feels like, oh my God, what am I doing? But no, I enjoyed it. And it's something my daughter can get involved in now, not directly because it's not safe, because it's like really hot wax, but she can help me. She's like done some designs. She helps choose the fragrances and the glitter. She can put the glitter in. Her favorite thing is taking them out of the molds. She's really good at that. She's like really proud of how good she is at that, because basically they can get stuck to it sometimes and like rip it off. But she's really good at that. No, it didn't really take up that much more time, I think, because I had planned it so well, and I was happy to take it a bit slow. So like I said, I don't really put strict deadlines on myself. I think if you're going to put a really strict deadline on yourself and it's not that enjoyable, that's when it's going to get a bit stressful. But I wanted to take my time and really enjoy it. So in terms of time, I don't actually know how much time I was spending on it, but it wasn't a lot. It wasn't affecting anything else. Just got it done, basically.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're right. If it becomes one, it's fun anyways. But two, if it's something you can do with your daughter as well, then that's an extra bonus, right? Why you wouldn't kind of think, oh, I don't have time for that, I'm going to spend time with my daughter. That's kind of a win.
She enjoys it, and I always say that anything I do, I have her in mind. As in, I don't think you should think, and I get why people do this, and I've had this before. If you work, that you get a lot of mum guilt, but they see you working, and that I think is so beneficial to them. So she's seen, with the wax melts, for example, she's seen me come up with a business idea and execute it. She's seen me do all the testing, she's seen me do all the work, and then she's seen me have the sales, and she comes with me to the post office, which she usually hates. When I do a planner launch and we go to the post office, she hates me. But with the wax melts, she's like, I'm happy to go to the post office for the wax melts. So yeah.
Because she was part of the project.
Well, yeah, she prefers it, I think, because she can see the whole process, I think. Whereas with everything else I do, perhaps she doesn't see like every single step. But it's fun for her as well because it's like, it's pretty nice smelling things. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Big tick in that box.
Yeah.
What again, you've obviously given advice all the way through, but if there was someone who was sitting there thinking, okay, I have an idea and I haven't acted on it, what kind of advice would you give them to maybe help them start with something?
I think it depends what it is, because if you wanted to become a doctor, there's a lot that you have to put in to do that before, but there are still steps. So you would still have to make sure you had the grades, you'd still have to apply and all these kind of things. So I think there is a step-by-step process to get you there, but you have to start doing something today. Now, the thing that I see a lot of people do is they say, I'll wait until Monday, or I'll wait until the first of the month, or I'll wait until I have time. And I always say that that's our brain trying to stop us from doing something new, because our brain likes a comfort zone. And it will say anything it can to get you to not do something new. And saying you don't have time, we'll start next week, is a great way to stop us, because we'll go, yeah, that sounds good. We'll do that next week. And then it'll come around and our brain will come up with something else like, oh, you've had a really hard day, we'll do it tomorrow. And then it comes tomorrow and then, oh, you're too busy. And so it goes on. So basically you've just got to start today. That would be my tip.
It's so true. I can't remember. I was doing something like, I'd seen it like a challenge or something on, it was probably on Twitter. So I saw a writing challenge. It was a 100-day writing challenge. And I was like, that's a great idea, right? I can write every day. I was like, yeah, okay, we'll start tomorrow. And then tomorrow came and I was like, something doesn't make sense to start towards the end of the week. I'll start Monday. And all of a sudden I was like, all that enthusiasm. And then I kind of had a reply and I was like, no, that's it. I'm going to do it now. And I've been doing it since, but I absolutely agree. The second you say, I'll do it X, all of a sudden you lose all that motivation and all that drive. Yeah. And it just never, ever happens. So great advice.
We're all guilty of thinking that we need a load of time, and I totally get that, because sometimes you might need an hour to sit down. However, if you break that hour down into like 10 minutes, you're going to get there a lot faster than if you wait for this hour that never appears. So I always say everyone's got like 10 minutes. And if you haven't got 10 minutes, then you really need to take a look at a lot of other stuff that's going on.
Yes. And actually, I like the other point that you made about moving the needle, but even if it's the tiniest thing, because I guess that creates that consistency. Because the second you start missing a day, then it's like, oh, I missed a day, I'll miss another day. Whereas if you're constantly being consistent with even doing one tiny thing, then all of a sudden, every day you're working towards it, it naturally builds momentum.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Momentum is very important. But going back to what I said about your brain, because I always bang on about this, your brain will try and stop you. So you've got to try and put things in place to fight that. So making something a habit. So if you say every day at 6 o'clock, I'm going to do this thing, then it becomes automatic and then you don't think about it. So your brain has no way to fight you. So you need to make things like that automatic and just remember that that's what your brain's trying to do, and just maybe write down what the excuses will be and then what your reply to the excuses will be, which is usually time and tiredness. That's usually our top things. And also reminding yourself of why you're doing it, I think is really important, and attaching an emotion to that maybe. Like if you're starting something new because you want to get out of debt or something, you can make that very highly emotionally charged. So I do think that helps as well.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point, is remembering the why, because on those days that you really can't be bothered and you remember why you started it in the first place, all of a sudden you probably get that kick up the backside of, hang on, I remember why I'm doing this and I still want to hit that. So get on with it, kind of thing.
We all lack motivation, and I would say, be easy, be gentle on yourself and take the rest if you need it. However, even when I'm having a day where I'm like, I'm not going to do anything, I will still do something to move the needle. And it can just be so small. And I feel better for that as well anyway. But if I'm really like exhausted, it'll be the smallest thing ever. But I just think it has to be something. Personally, I find that's what works.
Yeah, no, I think I completely agree. I think this whole consistency thing is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. And if I'm doing something every day, even if it is quite small, it's made such a difference versus, oh, I'll do it once a week or something.
Yeah.
Because that never ever happens.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Consistency is definitely the answer.
Yeah, automating it.
Yes. Yeah. Because then it becomes a habit. It becomes your everyday thing. You don't even think about it. You just get up and do it.
Yeah, but then you can also, I think it really helps to analyze. So if you are saying, so a lot of people say that they want to do it after they've done everything else. So they want to go to work, do the tea, clean up, blah, blah, blah. Then they want to do it. And then they find out they don't want to do it because they're tired. So maybe you've got to do it at another point in the day. Maybe try and do it a little bit before you start your day, like before you go to work, or even if it's 5-10 minutes, maybe do some in your lunch break, or depending on what it is on the way home in the car, like if it's like listening to a podcast or something, obviously don't be doing those things. So I think that really helps because you are really tired probably after work, and that's okay. But it's all about figuring out what works best for you, what kind of timing is best and stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like doing that, like doing something for yourself before you do something for others. So if you're going to work, if you take that 10-15 minutes and do something for yourself first, then all of a sudden you A, feel better, and B, it's out the way and it's done, and you've done something for you before you think of anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people wake up early, and now I'm not one of those people. Because some people get up at like 5 o'clock and something, and I would never suggest that. I'm not that kind of person. But again, that's figuring out what kind of person you are. I'm a night owl. I could stay up till 5 a.m. no problem. But if you ask me to get up 10 minutes earlier, I'll be dead for the whole day. And I've tried to get up earlier, and I have done that in the past. So I tried that, but that's because I had like a side hustle where I had to get up early. But yeah, just figuring out what's best for you. And I like what you said about doing something for yourself first before everyone else.
Yes. Sometimes I restore knowledge. That is good.
It's got to do it.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Right. This has been awesome. And I could probably carry on talking to you about the brain stuff and nerd out, but I won't do that to you. Guys that are watching live or the replay or listening to the podcast, you can go and find, firstly, Francesca is the Money Fox. So at the.moneyfox on Instagram. And I will link everything up in the descriptions and things. So you can go and click it. But go and check out her main Money Fox stuff because it is awesome, and the tips and tricks and the kind of budget planning and all of that side of things is amazing. So definitely go and check that out. But obviously we've just spent the last 45 minutes talking about these awesome soy wax melts, damn it.
Yeah.
So go and check out the Wax Melt Fox Co, which is Francesca's new venture, about all of these soy melts, which are awesome and look great, by the way.
Thank you.
So again, I will link up everything, the websites and all the stuff in the description. But yes, please go check them out because they're very cool. And Francesca, thank you. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. It's been great to be here.
Awesome. Any last words, a message, anything like that we might have missed?
I don't think so. I think the whole theme was kind of just start today.
Yes, absolutely. Get up and do it.
Yes. Even now, no matter what time it is. If you're listening to this, then you have time.
Yes, I love it. I love this because I get all motivated and I'm all like, yes, I'm up for something now.
Yeah. Well, what is it? What do you want to do?
I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I know I want to do something.
Have you got a goal right now?
No, and this is the thing that kind of is annoying me. I don't know what I want. Which is kind of the point of the podcast. And I have also started a second show / podcast because it's kind of fun. But I don't really know what I want to do.
Okay, I think you need to do a brain dump. That's what I would say. And just try and figure out what you enjoy doing and what you're good at doing, because you kind of want to mesh the two and what you can get paid for.
Yeah, I think that's the problem right there. No one's going to pay me for me.
Yes, they will.
Nobody wants.
Yes, they will. Don't be, that's so silly. You could do a YouTube channel for ads and stuff. A similar thing.
Yeah. Again, I'm. Well, you need to sort my head out. I'm like, no one's going to listen to me.
Yeah, but everyone thinks that. I think that about myself all the time, and I just think, why do I bother? Especially if someone's mean to me, I'm like, why am I bothering again? But what I do is I keep screenshots of all the nice messages and stuff I've had, and I read them, and they're like, and usually, generally, actually, when I think that, someone will send me a message, like it's like psychic or something, and I'm like, oh, that came at the right moment, and it's so lovely how much you can help people when you don't know.
That's actually very true. I think people really underestimate the power of their words, because it can, in some cases, make or break someone. So be kind, firstly. And it's very nice, actually, when you get those. So, guys, if you're listening, send me a nice message. That would be lovely.
Yes, do it. Well, you got to remember, no one is you. No one. Yeah. But someone will be listening or watching that is like you, and then that is what makes a difference. It's all about the people that are like you. You might not be universally liked, but no one is. But no. I think there's an audience out there for everyone. And we like people. Look at reality TV and stuff. Yeah. We love just like watching people like eat their food and like
true.
clean their house.
Yeah.
And that's like boring. That's really boring. How many times? I bet the people you watch like on YouTube or Instagram stories and stuff are actually doing quite boring stuff.
Yeah, probably.
If you think about it. And they think about it, and they probably think, God, why am I doing this? Like, it's very boring. That's what I think when I do it. I think, why am I sharing? So, yeah. You've got to just start, okay?
Okay.
Whatever it is, just start it. You never know. It might be really, but you've got to stick at it as well.
Yeah.
I would say it takes like a long time. So don't be worried if it doesn't work straight away.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I think a lot of people think that things happen overnight. I get really frustrated when they don't.
Yeah, we're all like that as well. I'm like that as well. I'm like, it's good. Why is it not like doing really well? So yeah, we're all like that. It's about starting and staying consistent, like you said, sticking with it.
I'm gonna keep going, even if no one's listening.
Send me a message later and let me know what you've done today.
Damn it. Okay. Oh man, now I have to. Okay.
Yeah, you got time.
I will. I absolutely will. And whoever is listening, send me a message if you are listening. I just want to know that there are people out there.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
This is awesome. No, thank you. Thank you very much. I had a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I'm going to go and do something, whatever it is.
And let me know what it is.
Yes, absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Right, guys, I'll be back same time, same place next week. Otherwise, please go and check out Francesca's stuff. Again, links will be in the description. And that's about it. We'll let you go. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.